Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Kevin and this is the Wrenchin' Fool. So in this video we're back in my 2019 Chevy Bolt EV and we're going to be doing the 500-mile challenge today. So weather today is pretty good. It's about 55, 60 degrees right now. It's still in the morning, so it'll get warmer, maybe up into the mid 60s. There's no wind to speak of, and it's nice and dry, so basically perfect weather for doing this type of driving. If you don't know about the 500-mile challenge, you can either read the information down in the description below. I've got the full rules and guidelines down there, but basically I'm just going to drive a 500-mile loop, and we'll see how long it takes to do it, which includes charging and everything along the way. So I'll be driving 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, which in this part of Oregon means basically for most of the drive I'll be going about 70 miles an hour, with some places where I have to slow down as the speed limit drops. There's also some elevation change on this route, going up through some, not big mountains or whatever. I think we hit a top elevation of 2,000 feet or so, and starting off down here at sea level. So we're just about ready to get going here, but before I take off, I'm going to just pull up the Electrify America app here on my phone and check all the chargers on the route. I always recommend doing that before you leave for a long trip. If you know you're going to have to charge on that trip, just pull up the app for whatever chargers you plan to use and check to make sure that they're actually functioning and that they're not overly full or whatever, because it's better to know that before you leave than when you pull up to the charger or you're already most of the way there and committed as far as your charge level to going to that charger. So I'm just going to spend some time making sure all the chargers are working, and then we're going to get on the road. We're charging up now here at our first stop, which is the Sutherland, Oregon Electrify America station. We got here at about 23% left in the battery, traveled 164.7 miles, 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour average so far. And we got here at 2 hours and 28 minutes. So I've got a bite to eat here. I'm going to have a snack. I already did the calculations. We've got to stay here until we're charged up to about 53%. We've got about 85 miles left until our next stop at the next charger. But it's pretty hilly. There's lots of hills going through that section there. So I'm estimating maybe about 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour average through that section. So charge up to 53%. That'll get us there with about a 10% margin, give or take. Alrighty, we're charged up to 53%. Let's get the heck out of here. So we've just pulled in here at the Walmart in Grants Pass Electrify America station here. We got here with about 15%, so a little bit better efficiency than I was estimating, but hey, I'd rather do that than pull in here with too low state of charge. That's never fun. One thing I will mention with the Bolt, some cars have a buffer below 0%, so even when it says 0%, you can still drive for another 10 or 20 miles. With the Bolt, when it says 0%, you are dead. It does not have any buffer at the bottom of the battery. In fact, I've had the Bolt lose so much power that I couldn't continue going, and I had to pull over and stop at 2%, which is not fun. So arriving here at 15% is totally fine. Let's see, we've driven so far 245.7 miles. We got it here at 4 hours and 7 minutes. We're still averaging about 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So I'm going to go use the restroom here in the Walmart, clean up the windshield. That's probably going to be about as much time as we have. I'm just going to stay here until we hit our first charging speed drop at about 47-48%, because all we need to do is just a relatively short loop. I think it's about 70 miles round trip, so that amount of percentage should be perfectly fine. All right, we are at 49% and our charging speed just dropped. So let's get out of here. We are back again at the Grants Pass Electrify America here at the Walmart again. So let's see, we arrived here at, let me grab my notes. We arrived here at 5 hours, 25 minutes, 25% state of charge. We've traveled so far 298 miles exactly, still sitting at that 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, on the drive here between Medford and Grants Pass, I was noticing we're getting blown around a little bit, so I checked out the Windy app, and we had a little bit of a tailwind on the way there, and now on the way back, we're fighting it as a little bit of a headwind. We're heading pretty much north now, and the wind is blowing towards the southwest, so it's sort of a headwind slash crosswind. And it's sustained to between 5 and 10 miles an hour with gusts a little bit more than that. You can definitely feel it kind of blowing the car around a little bit. So at this charge stop here, I think we're going to need to compensate for that. We know that on this trip from Grants Pass, or excuse me, from Sutherland to Grants Pass on the way here, I charged it to 53%. We arrived here at 15%. So consumption is going to be a little bit higher on the way back because of that headwind. So I think I'm still going to charge it to that 53%, maybe even up to 54, 55%, just because, you know, as I said, the Bolt doesn't have a bottom buffer at all. If you hit 0%, you're dead in the water. So I want to try to keep it above 10% state of charge just so that we're safe. So I think I'm going to charge it again to 53%. We're sitting right now, we've been here for just a few minutes, we're already up to 30%. So I expect we'll probably be here another 25 minutes or so to make it to that 53%. Okay, we just ticked over 52%. I think that's good enough. We're charging only at 37 kilowatts, so let's get unplugged and get out of here. We've arrived back at the Dairy Queen, the Sutherland Electrify America station here. We got here at 7 hours and 1 minute, 10% remaining in the battery. So far we've gone 380 miles. We're still sitting at that 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Although I did notice as we were driving it started to dip down into 3.4, but it bounced back up to 3.5 by the time we got here. So we did have a little bit worse efficiency on the way back. I mean, as you remember, on this trip going south, on the way there, we arrived with 15%. Coming back this way, headed north, because of the wind and everything, we've arrived with 10%. So good thing we did that little bit of extra charge. Again, it's really not best to take the Bolt much below 10%. I've got some food here to eat. We haven't done the 30-minute break yet, the meal break, as per the rules and the guidelines of the 500-mile challenge. So that's going to be this stop. We'll be here for at least 30 minutes, but I mean, realistically, with the Bolt, I don't think that's going to be an issue anyway. So I'm going to have some more food. It's been like 4 hours since the last time I ate, so I'm kind of hungry. Alrighty, I just finished eating up. We've been here for almost exactly 30 minutes now, so we've made it up to, let's see, 50%. So That's plenty. We've only got 60 miles to the next charger, so let's unplug and get back on the road. This is a recurring issue I've been having with the Bolt, and it's really frustrating on these longer trips. At random, the cruise control just shuts off. It won't let me re-engage it. Like, see if I try to press set right now, it's not setting. If I turn it off, turn it back on again, press set, it's not working. Can't press resume, can't press set. Doesn't do anything. All right, made it here to next charging stop, or hopefully next charging stop. It's the Electrify America station here in Springfield, right next to Eugene. I got here and there's these well, they're BMWs. It says it's called the iX, not like an iX3 or an iX5 or 7 or whatever. It just says the iX. And it has sort of the grille of like an X7 or something, but it looks smaller to me. Doesn't look like it's as big as an X7. But anyway, so they're here charging up, taking up, unfortunately, the only two working chargers here. The one I'm currently parked in front of is turned on, but it says both of the chargers are unavailable. The one that's over on the other end is just completely turned off. So I've stopped the timer because this, again, is not the fault of the car. I think I'm going to give Electrify America a call to see if I can get this one or the other charger here working, so I can charge up. If not, I'll probably just have to sit here and wait for one of these guys to come back out here and unplug their BMW. All right, just a quick status update. The two test BMW vehicles have taken off, so I was able to move over to one of those chargers. I did call Electrify America customer service and told them about the two chargers that were not working here. They said the one that was turned off is just not functional at all. They already knew about it. Nothing they could do about that one. I told them about number one. They tried to reboot it to see if that would help. It didn't help. It still shows it is unavailable. You can't activate anything on it. It does have some physical damage to one of the connectors there. From the looks of it, at least, it's actually taped up and stuck into the machine there. So only two of the four stations here working, and unfortunately I just got here when there was two other people charging. So anyway, I'm charging up now. We're getting full speed. That's good. I got here at 23%. So it only took us, 27% to drive 60 miles. And I expect the efficiency for the rest of the trip to be about the same. We're currently sitting at 440 miles. I don't think I said that. We're at 440 miles, 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, and we pulled in here at 8 hours and 30 minutes into the trip. So I think I'm just going to charge up to about 40%. I expect the efficiency for the remainder of the trip to be about the same. And we've only got 60 more miles to go. So that's pretty much exactly the same amount as it was to get here. So yeah, I'm going to sit here until we're at 40%. Probably another 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes, and then get back on the road. All right, we're charged up to 41%. Let's stop and get out of here.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
All right, we've made it back. Well, not quite home, but almost. It's just a little ways up the street. I just need to make a stop before I actually head home. But anyway, we completed the 500-mile challenge here in my 2019 Chevy Bolt in 9 hours and 40 minutes. But I'm going to subtract 5 minutes from that for traffic issues that we had on the way south. So I'm going to take 5 minutes off for that. So we completed it in 9 hours, 35 minutes. Used a total of 146 kilowatts for the trip. We had 12% remaining in the battery when we hit that 500-mile mark. So pretty good there. How do I wrap this up? Well, there's a lot of interest in the Bolt, especially like 2017s, 2018s, even like the 2019 here, because they're becoming more affordable for people who want a longer range EV but can't afford to buy something that's new. So how does this car do as a longer range EV? It's certainly capable of doing long road trips. I mean, we drove 500 miles today and it did it just fine. But I don't get the feeling that that's what this car was made for. To me, the Bolt seems more like a city car or a good commuter car, but it's not really built for long distance driving. And the reason I say that is, for one, it's kind of small. You know, it's fine when it's just me in here, but if you put 4 people in here, you know, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for everybody, and you're definitely not fitting 4 people's worth of luggage in here. It's just not a chance. On top of that, just the seats really aren't that comfortable. For me, I'm about 5'11", almost 6 foot tall, about 230 pounds. So I'm big, but not huge. And these seats are too small for me. They're too narrow. Where it goes behind my shoulders here, the seat kind of pinches together, and it hits me in the shoulders. It's just not comfortable for long distance. It's fine when you're just commuting. I commute 90 miles every day, and it's totally fine for that. But for this kind of driving where I'm in the car for 9.5, almost 10 hours, it's not good. My butt hurts. And on top of that, the charging speed, there's just not a good combination of efficiency and charging speed. It tops out at 55 kilowatts on ideal conditions, and even then it's only for a short period of time. And once you hit 47, 48, maybe 49%, it drops down to 38. So you're really, after you get past the initial charge, you're charging to 40 or 50% every single time if you want to get maximum speed for your charging sessions. And that means that you're driving maybe 70 to 80 miles between charging stops after that initial charge. And that's here in the Northwest, in good weather, driving 70 miles an hour. If you're in the Midwest where you're able to go 80 miles an hour most of the way, especially if it's windy, you're going to be charging like every 50 or 60 miles if you want to be doing that, 10 to 48%, for maximum charging speed and maximum travel speed, really. And that's the other thing, is that the efficiency on this, if you're traveling below 60 miles an hour, the efficiency is pretty good. I mean, you can pretty easily get 4 to 4.5 miles per per kilowatt hour if it's not pouring down rain or really cold where you have to use the heater a bunch. But if you're driving 70, I mean, we got 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour on this trip, and that's about as good as it's going to get. Like I said, it's certainly a capable car. It's capable of driving longer distances. And I think that for the real world price of the Bolt, keeping in mind that I bought this particular Bolt, it's fully loaded, the most expensive one you can buy. The out the door price was $28,000. And that's with no negotiation, no haggling, no one-off deals. That was what they were selling for. And that's almost exactly $20,000 less than what I paid for my Tesla. So I think for the price, it's a good value. But if you're driving long distances, doing lots of longer road trips, and that's what you really need the car for, there's probably better options out there than the Bolt. It's certainly capable of it, but it's not the best car for the option, or for that option. One more quick thing regarding the charger issue there at the Springfield Electrify America station, where there was only 2 chargers working and they were both occupied by those BMW test vehicles. You know, that's an inconvenience for sure, but it wasn't really a problem. It was actually more of a problem just because of the test I was doing than it would have been under just about any other circumstances. The reason is because that charger was in a major metropolitan area. So if that charger doesn't work or it's all occupied, I can go to any number of other different chargers that are there. So it's not really a big deal. The reason that it was more of a problem during this test is because I was trying to stick to the Electrify America network. And the reason for that is because they are the only ones, at least at the moment, who have widely available chargers that are fast enough to charge the Bolt at its maximum speed. The Bolt doesn't charge that fast. It only, like I said, peaks at about 55 kilowatts. But the reality is that most of the other fast chargers that are out there are 50 kilowatt chargers, which on the Bolt or just about any other electric vehicle out there, short of some that run at abnormally high voltage, it's going to charge it at more about 40, 42, maybe up to 43 kilowatts. So for the interest of this test and wanting to maximize the charging speed, it made more sense for me to sit there and wait at that Electrify America station for one of the 2 BMWs to move than it did for me to drive to a different fast charger there in the Eugene Springfield area and charge there. That's the only explanation for that. Like I said, inconvenient, not really a big deal. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. I could ramble on forever, but I'm going to stop myself there. If you like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this on my channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified anytime I post up a new video. If you have any questions about this video or anything else about the Bolt, about my Tesla, anything else, just put it down there in the comment section below, and I will get back to you whenever I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching.
It sound right, boy.